Get through this pretty quick. It's Brian. So let's talk about it. I entered a put position. I got $800 worth of puts, $21.5 strike price, Mara for next Friday. We will see what happens. Let's get out of this. I just kind of wanted to say what I did today. Let me stop shaking my leg 1 second. Okay. So we are really overextended on this. If we look at, I'm not going to because it takes too long, but if we look at the real-time hours, it ended in after hours at 2570, somewhere around here. This is so overbought. If we look at 2570, this thing is 16% over the target. I'm not saying it's not going to go up or it's going to go down. It's just so overbought. I feel like I had to do something. We'll kind of see what happens. I was looking for Bitcoin at the same time. We had our start. Obviously, this is 7 o'clock, so there's nothing I can do here. Or it's 1900 Eastern. So there's nothing I can do here because options, I can't trade option at that time. So while I do think this is just inherently bullish coming in, it also is a little bit sketch that we cupped here so well. I'll say this first. If it wasn't because Mara was so overbought, and I've never seen it overbought before, kind of like this, moving up into this average anyway from the past kind of 2-3 years, it makes me wonder if Bitcoin's really going to push up. There's no reason for, like, if Bitcoin pushes up, the mining companies are all incredibly overbought at that point. I just don't understand why you would want the mining companies to be that overbought before Bitcoin makes its run, because then Bitcoin, it is a derivative of Bitcoin, but it does have its own chart that does get respected as well. So it's, to me, it's just really firm in my mind that Mara wants to wait till next week. And like I've said before in the previous videos, I wanted us to drop out of here somewhere on Wednesday, like 7 o'clock Wednesday. I wanted us to drop out of here and just come down here and just break back up. To me, this would have been the right way to do it. Now we're really top heavy, and maybe we don't hold if we do come down. I don't want to get into it too much. I don't want to say it's like bearish. It's really indeterminate now at this point. I don't think the 4 hours can be trusted. After we had this and then we just pushed up into here, I don't think the 4-hour holds can be trusted anymore right now. And we do have like the 2-hour above, but like look at the 2-hour. This is okay for what it is, and we fall back under, right? Come back here. This is a nice start. Like, this is a really nice start. On the 2-hour, I think I really like it. And this is when we're pushing over the 4-hour. Let's do this real quick. We do have we both? Okay, 242424. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so we can even see on this one, right? We hit here and then we try to, like, this looks so good. Let's just do this for a second. Come on, man. All right. Like, this looks so good. Like, I would have said this was going to go up if it was not for Mara's, if not for my belief that Mara's launch point is 21.5 or 21.44, $21.44. I would have said this was just going to go up right then and there. I would definitely have thought it was going to go up, but we start seeing these weird things happening, and it's just Mara's really overbought. The amount of money that can be made on Mara just with puts or shorting, if they can control Bitcoin, just bring it back a little bit before it goes, is insane. And then you're going to get so many top buyers on a short term anyway, because this week is so many top buyers in these last 2 days. And then you just get them all to sell because they're wrecked out of their positions. And once they sell, you just go right back up, right? So yeah, I mean, that's the way I view it right now. So like I said, I got in like 13 call. I got 13 puts for next Friday. Strike price 21.50. There were 63 cents when I got them. So I mean, I'll just tell you what it is. Not a big deal. So and like I don't remember if I said it before, but where we ended on Mar was I got him at 24.78. So although after hours did all this, the option prices aren't going to change just because it can't register, right? You can't. There's no pre-market or anything like that. Market opens, options are open. So while it is up here, we definitely could turn back around. It's so incredibly high right now with this being the 21.45. I mean, it's just so high. I mean, they did push it down, but it doesn't matter. Like to me, they should have pushed this down again. We should have been fighting around this area, not all the way up here. So we will see what happens. That's that. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, the dollar is oversold. I don't think it's a horrible thing. It's not super oversold right now, but it is a lot of selling. I don't know why we didn't just come up to 103.1 and then push down, because in my mind, if we push to 103.1 and then push down, like, right, look at all this stuff here, 103.4, 5. There's such a reason to add on to shorts here and just try to push it back down. And if we do that, it actually makes it look like we tried in this range, instead of being like, there's no one buying here. There's no one buying here. This is just people continually pushing the dollar down, selling it for whatever, other currencies and whatnot, maybe shorting this, other currency pairs and whatnot. Um, so it just may, something is brewing, right? We got the VIX too. It just feels like something is brewing. And I'm not saying this is like, was it here? No, no, I'm not saying it was like back in August with this easy short. Right here, we had this like reversal kind of thing. No, nothing like this or whatever. But it's there, and it's it's just hard to ignore, right? Like, we're overbought on almost everything. It's fine to go down, and then the VIX is flashing this signal. It's just not a time to buy. I just don't think it's a time to buy. But that's also assuming, like, if you're trying to buy something, it was November 13th to, like, what was the last time? November 13th, the SPY was the last one to follow through. So November 13th to Monday the 11th. That was the time to buy, between November 13th, when the NASDAQ first came above. November 13th, when the NASDAQ came back above, right? We can see boom, 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 right? Boom. We came back up, right? We can see with these other ones how we just get oversold in certain places. Like, this is way oversold. I don't want to get into specifics right now. Not important. But, right, this is when you first start buying. This is when you can add on 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later. This is when you can add on a week later. This is not the week to buy. I'm not saying it's going to go down, but it's just, this is not the week to buy. Out of every week, out of every time to buy, this is not the week to buy. So we'll see what happens. It's hard to found it in anything besides just like an incredibly growing suspicion. And putting money on that is a little weird too. But it just kind of is what it is. It's really hard to get rid of that feeling here that something is going on. And I don't think it has to. Like I said, because we're fine to drop. Like, if people sell down and short, it's just more fuel to go back up. So let's just drop and get more fuel, and let's just keep pushing back up. I don't see us, like, how do we drop under this and this, right? And this, like, right, right. Or like, if we just come down hard, or we're not gonna, how do we fall through this? I just don't see it as being possible. So why keep it up? Just let it drop, and just let it drop into support. So maybe nobody wants to sell, but I have a hard time believing that. I have an incredibly hard time believing that someone in the U.S. markets always wants to sell. Someone is always a bear. There are always a lot of bears. If there weren't a lot of bears, we wouldn't be pushing up this much. Like, let's be honest, this isn't just inflation and people want to move their money. This is literally like bears and bears and bears and bears and bears. Like, that's what most of this is. Oh, we can't come up forever. It's gonna go down. Oh, the '08 crash. We almost come down to 200 smooth. Oh, we push back up. It's like, this is bears, and look how beautiful this is too on the month time frame. That's actually insane. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember the last time I looked at this in the month time frame, but this is actually beautiful. Actually, really beautiful. Look at that. Boom. Can get in, get out immediately. Wow. You can see that you can add on to it. I don't think this is the. You got to have cojones to kind of short here. I think this is a take profit sell. I don't think this is a put short. This is definitely a put short. I mean, you almost don't have a choice It's a little sketchy though, because I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty wild, especially considering that it's a month. I don't even know if you get puts on it. It's different. I don't usually see month time frame data, so I'm not always sure. I'd have to see it on a week time frame if I really wanted to do options for it. Because you gotta think about it, right? You gotta this is I understand getting puts on something like here, but then we're here for a whole nother month and a part of another month. So it'll be interesting to see. So I mean, we see Bitcoin pushing down a little bit. I don't think it's to be trusted personally right now. I don't believe in this. Not that I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the current movement. I stopped believing in it here. And just all the other reasons I stated. And I think that's kind of just about it. I mean, I could look at some other things. I don't necessarily think it's too important. Big time doesn't look amazing, but I don't think it looks horrible. I don't have enough of an opinion to say whether it's a buy or not. I don't really care. Let's see. What are we doing here? Let's take a look at meme USDT. 4 hour. This is pretty nice for what it is, though. There are some, like here, I think we actually start. Oh, no, this actually, I wasn't sure if this started under or above. Okay, so that is nice. That started slightly above. That's good. It looked like from far away, it looked like it started under. All right, so that's good. We just keep banging on here. Where's the 2 hour? 2 hour 200. Shift this over. Okay, so this is pretty nice. We're just stuck between the 4 hour and the 2 hour. I'm not really a big fan of that. I feel like we should be pushing up, but I do understand it from the perspective of possibly we like drop down again to push back up. For here, I just like to see it above both of these. My concern here is like this is always a concern, right? We want to see it start here, but we don't want it to push up too much and then get pushed down from there. So I'd like to see it above this 2 hour also. I don't think we have a 12-day, no. Yeah, so this is what I would like to see. So hopefully we can see that. A 2 hour start. It's really hard to put a number on it because every 2 hours it changes. So I'm just not going to. The 2 hour hull, 375 hull is what we want to see. It started 2 hour above. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if it'll come back down after this and this and this. I don't know if it comes back down to go up, maybe 30,450. It's hard to see it coming back under this. But I mean, it's not hard to see it, but like, unless things are horrible, it's hard to like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything on it, to be honest, because we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. And like some of the stuff is sketchy that could imply, I don't know. I don't want to talk about how much it could go down. I don't necessarily care. I don't think Bitcoin itself needs to drop a lot. I'm not trading Bitcoin. I'm trading Mara, right? So, and Mara to me is overbought. Um, so any pullback I mean, Bitcoin can pull back down to 42,000. If this came back to like 41,000, those puts are pure printing. Because if this somehow came back, I mean, I'm not saying it will, and it looks so unlikely at this point, even though it's a little bit sketchy. But just being honest. But I mean, from a straightforward technical standpoint, it looks good. From like all these other things, it seems sketchy. But if it came down to there, like even over the weekend, Mara comes back down to 2150, and that's just a huge drop. That's great. That is great. And then maybe it can go up, right? Then maybe Mara can go up without being overbought. Get all these top buyers out, wreck them out, have it drop like that 15-18%, and then just shoot it back up. So we'll see. I mean, everything seems like it's kind of thinking about moving there. Things are trending down here and there. I see weakness. But I mean, it could be it's anyone's ball game at this point. It really feels like. So meanwhile, AVAX just keeps doing its thing. We got the week time frame start above this week, so that was nice for what it's worth. We got the day time frame start last week, I think. Right? Wasn't this last week? I believe. Yeah, Saturday last week. So we pushed up, came back. Okay, so we started the week. No, it's technically not Sunday. We started the week here, I believe. Right? Yeah, so we started the week here. Yeah. So that's nice. We got a push up, came back down, but then held the week up. So I do like this. I think it still looks pretty decent. I'm not really too worried about it. Like I said, I'm not really worried about Bitcoin. Though I also don't know if I'm qualified to say how far it could drop if it does. I don't really want to guess how far it could drop if it does because I don't think it will. But it's just a lot of times I'm certain about stuff, and this is one of those times where I'm not as certain. So I just don't necessarily want to say stuff like that without being like certain. Um, But yeah, I mean, it's just so nice how we start the week above wing, start the week above wing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to AVAX. God forbid this thing starts next week. I mean, we'll see what happens, but God forbid it starts a week up here. That's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying every other time. I mean, this had a lot going on and it pushed all the way down, but this pushed up from there, right? Boom. And then we pushed up from here, right? We came under, started week under, push down, we come over, fail. So this seems like a crazy place, and there's a lot of space for movement here. 16%, maybe 40% up. It looks really nice. So I'm not saying it's gonna do it. It just looks nice. It's something that I see possibly. But I mean, this is also we're talking about what 12,338. We're talking about I don't know what is this. We're talking about starting a week somewhere like 14, 15, 16% up. It's quite a bit. Dot, what do we got? Oh my gosh, I didn't even pay attention. I can't trade this one, but I didn't even pay attention. That's crazy. Eh, overbought in my opinion right here. Way overbought, but it comes right back down. This is perfect. This is pretty fortunate too. It's a little bit sketchy. I don't know if I would have tried to buy it here. Personally, depends. But this is definitely a great buy. We're overbought. We expect it to come back. Now, if this started above, I wouldn't want to necessarily mess with this because I wouldn't expect it to come down so quick unless there's a actual issue. EOS, don't care. We're not above 938, so I don't care. It's been a while since we were messing with here, right? We can just kind of see what it's been doing here. Wing, right? Push up, bounce, right? Under resistance, push up, right? So it just respects the 200 smooth. So I don't really care until 938. It just kind of is what it is. EOS to Bitcoin. Looks like it could have some momentum from here. I don't see anything too specific though, personally. Okay, we could try to get in somewhere around here only because this looks like the worst thing ever in reverses, worst thing ever in reverses. So these are possible entry points, but they don't look amazing personally. They're not impeded by the day time frame. And the only thing that makes these good is that this looks horrible and this looks horrible, and then it just pushes up every time it looks horrible. Like that's the only thing I like about EOS to Bitcoin here is that every time it looks horrible, it pushes up. That's the only thing. Literally the only thing I like looking at that. Do we have week time frame? Oh, we do have week time frame here. All right, this is stuff that I don't mess with. Like this immediately tells me I don't care. Like there's too much going on here. That's all over the place. Trying to decipher this and add other things into it is too much, way too much. Let's check IOTA. No. KNC link. Ooh, link to Bitcoin. Overbought. I like this. What the hell happened here? But geez. Oh, this is linked to Bitcoin. Okay. This is probably when I think Bitcoin probably shut up or something. Okay, this is overbought to me, so I'm not surprised we came down. I think it could be reasonable to try to build up a position here. It's a little sketchy though. I don't. It's just look at this kind of in a sense. Look at it from this perspective. More here, to be honest, we'll do this object tree. This is the last one we're looking at, and then so we just kind of like look from here, and then we can just do it from here. I mean, this is pretty. Like this is all holding on. This is all above us, which just makes like I like getting in around these places, but it's hard to say to get in. Like to think that I would get in this, even if I guess I can trade link, but it would be. It's hard to see myself getting in this until like I don't know breaks up somewhere here, but then we're far away. There's a lot of stuff I don't like looking at about looking at link right now. Not a big fan of this either. We started so low. We got this press up. If something happens and that pushes us down, this looks like it's going to come crashing back down. This is way overbought. I'll say this initially. I would have been annoyed. Just like if Mara goes up and doesn't come back down and then crashes back through, I'd be annoyed. Because, like, look at this. Boing, 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 boing. Like, do we need to see more? Need I say more? Like, look at that. And then it just pushes up. It's like, bro, come on. Really? Like that's just kind of cruel. So we'll see what happens with all these. We'll just kind of leave it at BLX. I kind of like BLX, so let's do this. Oh, that's BitMEX. There we go. So we'll just leave it here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully they fix the stream stuff. For some reason, when I stream, it doesn't show up for people. I imagine it's the same thing for other people too. But take care, guys. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.